Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rachel-Yvonne Radio. My name is Rachel-Yvonne, and on this show, we talk about all things that help you become the most divine, feminine version of yourself. So stay tuned and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Hello, everyone. I pray that you're having an amazing day. Wherever you're watching me from, whether you're watching me here on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, welcome everybody to the live. Make sure you hit that share button wherever you might be and let others come on in as we talk today about how to put yourself on the pedestal. That is what we're talking about today, how to put yourself on a pedestal. Let me just make sure everything's good and clear. Let me know that you can hear me and see me fine, especially wherever you're watching me. Let me know that you can hear me and see me fine. Say hello. Let me know that it sounds okay and you can see me. Everything's all good. I'm excited about this topic today, talking about how to put yourself on a pedestal. How to put yourself on a pedestal. So welcome everybody. As I said, we are live on 3 platforms right now. Hi Instagram, hi YouTube, hi Facebook. Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day so far. And today is Tuesday the 10th of October 2023. Oh, great. Thank you so much. Great. You can hear me and see me. Awesome stuff. So the topic today is how to put yourself on a pedestal, put yourself on a pedestal, okay? It's important that you do this. And actually, before we get into it, let me just quickly introduce myself to everybody here. My name is Rachel-Yvonne, and I love to make sure that you are living the most divine version of your life, that you are being your best self in every single area of your life, especially for women. My work is mostly for women. I mostly speak to women, but I'm also having a lot of people for men's workshops and so on. So I'm going to do a couple of those coming up. And I do have a post on Facebook where I gave some tips for the gentlemen on ways that you can show the woman in your life that she's important. And I gave like a list of 10 things that you can do. And I think I'm going to share it to Instagram today. So if you're interested in seeing that, gents, let me know. And I will put it on Instagram sometime today. And so we are talking today about how to put yourself on a pedestal. And I think that this is an important topic because I actually am this week, we have the first call inside of Grace. So Grace is my final program of 2023. It's 3 months program. We're having group calls every other week. The first call is tomorrow. The first call is tomorrow. And we are talking about how to become the queen of your life and create a life that you truly desire. We're talking about 3 areas: money, love, and freedom. And it's going to be spectacular. But a part of that is what we're talking about today, about how to put yourself on a pedestal. How to put yourself on a pedestal, because oftentimes, especially women, we often put the man in our life that we want to be married to, or our husbands or whatever, we put them on a pedestal. Sometimes we put our children on a pedestal. Sometimes we put celebrities on pedestals and we celebrate their lives. We celebrate who they are, but you must celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself, okay? Learn how to celebrate yourself. Let me just do a quick test on let me just check Facebook real quick because my internet connection seems to be a bit weird, but I know Instagram is all good. Let me just quickly check. Oh, it looks like Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook's not doing too well. Never mind, we'll just carry on, and then I might redo this, or I might save this live on Instagram and put it on to YouTube and Facebook later. But here's the thing about putting yourself on a pedestal. The idea is that when you embrace your inherent worth, when you know who you are, then you understand your rightful place. And then you understand that if I am truly queen of life and I'm in charge of what's happening in my life, if I'm following God's voice in my life and I'm allowing God to govern where I am and I am following divine instructions, then I understand that the most important person I need to be honoring wishes is myself. Because what happens is, and I read this scripture last time that we did this, and the last time we did this, I read the same scripture where someone asked Jesus, like, what is the great command? Like, what is the best thing I can do? Right? They asked, what's the best thing I can do? He said, well, love the Lord your God with all your heart, your mind, your soul. Second thing you can do is love your neighbor as yourself. And I think that that's the important part that we often miss in the conversation is this idea of loving your neighbor as yourself. Therefore, when you position yourself accordingly, when you allow yourself to truly be, and I'm going to say queen because I mostly speak to the ladies out there, when you put yourself on top in your own life, you will start to see the treatment that you receive will be relative to how you treat yourself. Let me say that one more time. The treatment that you receive will be relative to how you treat yourself. That it will explain so many things, right? So if I always can guess myself, if I always myself last, then why would you expect anybody else to prioritize your feelings, prioritize your emotions, prioritize your protection, your self-care? Why would you expect anybody else to do that if you haven't given that to yourself? Now, I'm different to quite a lot of people that talk about dating and relationships because I don't believe that what you get what you put out. Like, as in, if you want a certain thing in a man, you should be that too. That's a bunch of crap as far as I'm concerned. It's not about that. It's about complementing each other. So it's not that you need to be what he is. It's that the two of you need to complement each other. Because what's the point? Why would two like say a jigsaw puzzle? You need two different pieces in order to fit the jigsaw puzzle like this. Not the same piece. Otherwise, they actually won't fit. And so it's about being complementary. It's about having similar values and ideas and concepts, but not being the same person, allowing yourself to know this is who I am. And I think that throughout history, we see that the idea of what is a pedestal. So it's when you make something important, it's about honor, respect, reverence. And when you put that in yourself, you will begin to see how the way that you're treated will change dramatically just because of how you treat and love yourself. And I think that once we start there, we start to see a lot of other things start to shift into place. Typically, how you view one thing is typically how you view many other things. And so just be aware of how you view yourself. And then you're going to begin to see, where have I noticed in my life that where I could have been treated better was based on the fact that I actually wasn't treating myself well first. And so for someone who might ask, like, what's the scriptural context for that? Is that a good idea to put yourself on a pedestal? I just gave you one scripture where Jesus says, in order to love me or love your neighbor, you must love yourself. You cannot give to love to anybody else that you haven't first given yourself. Taking personal responsibility for your own growth is a part of being a mature adult. It's a part of walking and living like someone who loves the planet that they're in and loves the life that they're in. It's also this idea of sometimes you self-depreciate. You feel that if you make yourself less, then you'll be loved more. And I'm going to tell you that that's actually not going to happen. If you self-depreciate and try to do false humility and pretend that you're lower than you are, what's going to happen is that people are going to walk all over you. You're going to see that people will not respect you. You won't be someone that they look like they need to protect. So it will be more like you will be left and ignored by the wayside because of your self-depreciation of saying, oh no, I'm fine, this is just my lot in life. It's not your lot in life. You get to decide that, yes, like the song says, and it is well, that whatever my lot that has taught me to say, it is well with my soul. You get to say that. But on the flip side, you also get to speak things into existence. You get to decide that if I want to be treated better, then I have to treat myself better first. And the reason why I'm sharing this today is because I was having a conversation with some clients this week about the idea of how to put yourself first. and why some people might say, oh, that's selfish, or how does that relate to maybe those of you who might be a Christian or follow a particular faith path that sometimes it doesn't look like you could do that. And I hope that with the couple of scriptures that I've shared just already, is that you get to see that it's not about putting other people down. I think that's where the misnomer comes in, where people get confused. They think that if I put myself first, it means that I'm going to put everybody else down. That's not what it's doing. What you're doing is elevating your mindset. And I was speaking on a stream on Sunday night, and that was something that I said, that when you think about elevating yourself, it's about your mindset first. And so positioning yourself and pulling yourself on a pedestal is about a mindset of knowing that this is my world, that I'm co-creating with God, that I'm allowing myself to have this experience. And therefore, I'm not going to allow any relationship, any job job situation or family thing or anything disrupt this kingdom that I'm creating. And for those of you that are married, the kingdoms that you're creating with your spouse, you're co-creating that with God as well. And so you have to decide, what are our core values as a couple? There's a video that my sister-in-law sent me this week where a gentleman is saying that him and his wife, they have business meetings every week as to where they are in their marriage, where they are in their love, where they are in their connections and so on. And a lot of people in the comments were like, oh my gosh, just love her and it'd be okay. But I actually said to my sister-in-law that I really appreciate the intentionality of that. Because if you don't have a set of core values or a set of what it is that your expectations are of each other, then it's hard to measure how well we're doing. That's why you can find yourself 6 months down the road, years down the road, and you've grown apart or different things have happened because you haven't allowed yourself permission to say, hey, I'm not perfect. Let me just check in to see where I'm at on this journey. And so, I mentioned already about what Jesus said the greatest commandment was, which was in Matthew 22:39. You've got to understand that healthy love and respect for yourself is so important to make sure that you get everything that you came for in this life. You were born for a reason, and I'm always saying, I'm always going to tell you that. You were born for a reason, for a purpose. And if you allow yourself to be distracted by what other people are doing, by what other people are saying, and what they think about you, then you will often find yourself not pleasing yourself. Okay. And so there is this balance there with that. I think one other thing that I want to say in regards to this is that we are, the reason why I'm talking about this is, as I said, I had a conversation with someone earlier on at the weekend, I believe. And also, we are starting this week. Our first group call is tomorrow for my Grace program, which is only 111 right now. And it is a 3-month program. We're having 6 group calls. You also get 1 private call included. And there's opportunities for upgrades as well. And it's only 111. And if you're interested, you can send me a message and I'll send you the link to join us. If you have any questions about what that program looks like or whether it's for you or not, then you can message me. But as I said, it's only 111 for 3 months program. So I think that's a pretty good deal regardless. So let's get back to what we're talking about today. How to put yourself on a pedestal. I think it's allowing yourself to move from being externally validated to self-affirming and having self-placement. So understanding that I don't need anybody else to affirm my value. I affirm who I am. I decide that who I am is what God says I am. Literally. If you have my affirmations book, I have a book of affirmations. So if you'd like that, I can put the link in the comments. And on Instagram, I'll put it in my stories. I'll put it in my stories when we're done. So I have a affirmations book, and in the affirmations book, and I also have affirmation cards as well. And in the affirmation books and the cards, I have written out some affirmations that I use every single day, and that really help me in order to live the life that I have. Like, it literally sets me up so that no matter what is thrown in my way, no matter whether I like the weather or not, or whether everything's perfect, or whether I have all the money that I desire, or whether someone I love is mad with me, or whatever. Like, I don't make those things govern what my life is like. I govern myself by what does God say about me, and I make sure I only repeat those things. And for even of those that are connected here who are not Christians and don't follow any particular spiritual path, you can still use the affirmations. A lot of people in my communities are not Christians and they still see a lot of results in what they do. You know why? Because spiritual laws work regardless. So if you're not a Christian, feel free to still use the concepts, because it will still help you in your life no matter what. Of course, I'm always going to say that you should follow Jesus anyway, because that's the best thing to do. But if you choose not to, you will still be able to get the results, because the principles work, period. And so here's the thing. We've got to break free from any societal validation. As I said, don't allow society to validate you, because one season they're saying, for example, because I like fashion, I do pageants and do influencer work and things like that. And sometimes, in different seasons, they'll be like, slim thick is in, or we like plus size models, or we want this size, or we want that complexion, we want that, this and that. You've got to understand that if you were to go by what societal trends are saying, then you will never ever live up to your full potential, because there's going to be a season where you're not in. There's going to be a season where you're not the main thing. You're not the favorite of the month, but you need to be your own favorite of the month. And the only other person that this really matters to is whoever you decide to do life with. That's it. Your husband, and for the gents watching, your wife, that's the only person that needs to really love you like that. Everybody else can kick rocks. And that's where we sometimes get it twisted, because we want everybody to like us. We want all this popularity, but it's not about being popular. It's about understanding that as long as I position myself accordingly, whatever is meant for me in this life is going to come towards me. And so you have to understand that when you rely on external validation, there are adverse effects of that. Because what happen is your mindset will only be you'll only be good if people like you, or you'll only be in a good mood if you wake up and you've got like 100 likes on your picture, or you'll only be good if so and so says you're beautiful, or blah blah blah. You can't rely on those things, because it will mess with your psyche, it will mess with your mindset, and it will start to mess with who you are, unless you make a decision that this is just who I am, that I get to be the most divine version of myself, that I get to be who God has called me to be, that I get to be, I get to do it. One of my favorite affirmations and declarations to make is that I get to live this life. I'm so happy and grateful that I get to live in this era, that I get to walk. I did a post yesterday, a reel, saying that I'm walking into my queen era. You get to decide that this is who I am. And that's why putting yourself on a pedestal really does help with that. And of course, we are diving deep into this inside of Grace. So if you want to join Grace program, as again, I said, it's only 111. And we're diving deep into all of these sections that I'm talking about. And we have group calls every other Wednesday. But of course, you don't have to join live. You can always get the replays. The replays will always be available for members. And it's only 111. And if you want to elevate that to private coaching, there are opportunities for you to do that once you register. And our first call is tomorrow. But as I said, you don't have to join live. You can watch the replays whenever you can. Another thing about this, in terms of putting yourself on the pedestal, is understanding that finding gold in adversity is a really good way of looking at things. Oftentimes, I will look at situations and I will always try to see the positive in a situation. I always try to see what is the best thing that can happen for me in this situation. Even when I've had some personal health concerns and I've been like, well, say for example, I might have had something going on with my back, and it means that I might have to rest more, or sit down more, lie down more. I'm like, okay, well, during this time of resting, I'm going to catch up on ABC. Yes, I might not be able to attend as many functions that I'd like, or I might have to take some extra work to do a few other things. However, I'm going to look at the good in this situation rather than complain about the fact that I have this back injury or this back issue. And that's a true story for me, having some back problems. And I just had to make a decision. We get to choose. That's the thing. You might not always get to choose what circumstances happen to you and in your life, but you get to choose your response. And that is the most important thing. That, it's not about the circumstances. It really is about how do you respond to the circumstances. Yes, I literally had to do the same thing a little while ago. Exactly. You just have to decide, make a decision. And that's why when I say to put yourself on a pedestal, it is not to pull anyone else down. In actual fact, what I'm doing while I'm getting up on the pedestal, I'm pulling other people with me. I'm pulling you all with me. That's why we're having this discussion. I'm not keeping it to myself. I'm saying, listen, let us all rise up together and be women, especially the women we were always designed and created to be. So let's talk about building wealth. So when it comes to finances and building wealth, as it relates to pulling yourself on a pedestal, you've got to think about what are the whys for why I'm doing it. Why am I doing it? Why do I want to build wealth? Because I've noticed, and I think I mentioned this in the last live that I did, I've noticed, especially a trend amongst certain women, is that the sign of a breakup is that she goes and gets another degree, buys another house, do these things. When you, as much as it is kind of funny, it is kind of funny, or a woman will cut her hair, change her hairstyle after a relationship or a breakup or something. And it's kind of funny, but it's also rooted in where do you find validation? So you've got to figure out, why am I doing this? Am I going to school to get another degree because I believe that if I get another degree, people will respect me more? I'm going to school to get another degree because I want to show my ex-husband or my ex boyfriend or my baby father, I want to show them that I'm smarter than them. I'm doing this because I want to show my family that I'm the one. You see, those aren't great reasons. Because what happens when you get the degree, you buy the house, you get the car, you get all the money, you become this 6-7 figure earner. And this is especially for ladies. This particular point is specifically for the ladies. What happens when you get all those things and then you don't get the results that you thought you were going to get? What happens when you get that degree, you get the money, you buy the house, and people still don't like you? They still don't respect you. They still look at you funny, and they're still not respecting you in the way that you thought you were going to be respected. What happens then? Now you've done wasted your time, your energy, and you're not even going to enjoy the success that you've gotten. That's why put yourself on a pedestal. Make sure that you're doing things because you truly desire it and not because you are trying to make something happen so that other people will love you. Learn to love yourself first. Learn to honor your own desires first. Learn to say, wow, what I love to do. If you want to go and get that degree, go and get that degree. You want to go and buy the house, buy the house. You want to make 8 figures, go ahead and make those 8 figures. But don't make it about other people. Make it about, this is my true desire. This is the life that I've dreamt about. Like this is my dream. This is the God dream, and I get to live that dream every day. That's what it needs to be. And not because I'm trying to show people that I'm this or I'm that. I'm trying to show off, or, you know, it doesn't need to be about that. And that's really what I'm saying. When you put yourself on a pedestal, you're less concerned as to what other people think, and you're more concerned with, is this in true divine alignment with who I was called to be? Is this in true divine alignment with who I was called to be? And so you want to be able to harness the power of visualization with vision boards and things like that, and pinning things on Pinterest, on Instagram. You can save things on Facebook. You can save things as well. Save things and make the names of those folders something exciting, like my dream life, or the babies of of the future or whatever. Like, make it something that really does inspire you and light yourself up. And in fact, the very first thing we're going to be doing inside of the Grace program, which we've already started, but we officially have our first call tomorrow. The first thing we're going to be doing is an elevated vision board where we are diving deep into our true divine desires and really seeing, am I living the life that I always destined myself to be? Where I am right now, is it where I thought I was going to be? And if it's not, then we work on those things, we talk those things through. And so it's only 111. So if you want to join me, you can send me a message and I will send you the link for you to join. And even when it comes to building wealth, lean into your feminine energy, learning how to balance patience with action. And for those gents that are watching, these are ways that you can even facilitate that for the woman in your life, where you can facilitate a place where she feels safe in order to share her dreams, where she feels safe in order to be built up and to be encouraged by you, as well as giving her space to be able to say, listen, I'm going to be having some time where I'm dreaming, where I am envisioning what my life looks like and how I can be a part of the process. That's what it looks like to support a woman through something like this, where you're able to support what she's doing whilst also holding space for the energy that you have as it relates to leading and governing your household. And so here are the 5 steps. So we're just going to quickly wrap this up. The 5 steps to putting yourself on a pedestal. So the first thing is having the mindset work. So we talked about this earlier. It's about the mindset work. It's about having this mindset where you incorporate daily practices like journaling, affirmations, visualization, meditation, prayer. All those things help to cultivate the mindset of someone who is the queen by pedestaling yourself, by allowing yourself to be what you're choosing and who you are going after. Okay, here's a question. So I'm going to post this. Let me see if I can. This question. His question here today is, how do you square remaining with one's divine alignment and changing your appearance for the better? E.g., hair extensions. I have short hair that I love, but I recently felt that it's not desirable to others. Okay, so here's the first thing that I would say is I would eliminate the idea of being desirable to others. Here's why. Because when you do something for someone else and they don't give you the results that you desire, what happens then? We then suddenly feel like it was a waste of time, a waste of money, right? However, first of all, I'm going to elevate my appearance based on what looks best on me. And that's the way you have to look at things. And thank you so much for sharing that question, because that's such a great question. And I know many other people watching will be able to benefit from the answer to that question. So I appreciate you for being vulnerable with your energy by sharing that question with me. So you have to come to a decision where you say, what would the elevated version of me look like? So for example, you'll see that I mostly wear bright colors, especially I will wear a lot of red. I like pinks. I'm moving into blue now and some other things, but I wear a lot of red. And the reason why I wear a lot of red is because red looks really good on my skin, first of all. And also what it embodies fire, passion, love. It just gives that certain feeling when you see the color. And that is what I want to project. I also feel good when I put it on. So I feel good whenever I put anything on that's red. I feel good when I'm wearing a bright color, because even if the weather's really dreary or the weather's really bad, I know that I feel good. So I'm going to walk into a room and be confident. So I'm doing it for myself. But the effects of that are that when I walk down the street, say if I was to go out now, go to Target or something, I know that I'm going to get stopped in the store. I already know this because this is just my life. So I'll get stopped in the store and someone will be like, oh my gosh, I love your dress. I love your shoes, because I always wear heels. And so I know that's going to happen. Now, maybe that day I might meet someone who might want to ask me on a date, or they might want to, I don't know, something. It could be anything. And it's not about whether you're married or not. It's about the fact is that that's what could happen just because I put on this dress and I like it, I look good, and I feel good. So when it comes to desirability for the opposite sex, we have to look at the fact that success does leave footprints. And as I said, I don't believe in wearing something because men like it or because I'm going to be desirable to men. What I do believe in is what looks best. What is the elevated version of yourself? So today we're talking about putting yourself on a pedestal. So divine alignment to me, and this is Rachel speaking. So if anyone here disagrees, you can go and disagree on your own platform. But here, this is what we believe here. So divine alignment to me looks like me eating right, looks like me making sure I'm watching my portion control. I'm not overindulging in certain foods. I'm not drinking like too much alcohol. I am not, I'm getting enough sleep. I'm making sure I'm looking healthy. My skin looks good. I'm not in stressful relationships, friendships, romantic, family, all of it, everything. It's holistic. And then what happens is when you start to love your life and love yourself, desirability goes off the charts. It goes so high. So then it no longer matters whether I have short hair, long hair, blue hair, pink hair, yellow hair. What matters is, what are my results telling me? What matters is this the most divine version of me? And if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of the times when we look at our lives, we can see the difference when we put ourselves on a pedestal, when we allow ourselves to be royal, when we allow ourselves to be the priority in our lives, we can see the difference. So desirability is going to change, or we don't want it to change, but it can change based on how you see yourself. So I hope that answers your question. Divine alignment. And this is what I love about being a woman. Like, I love being a woman. I think being a woman is the most amazing thing that could ever happen to me, because we were born for this. So it is what it is. And so I love the idea of being able to dress up. I love the idea of like playing in makeup. I love, jewelry. You'll hardly ever see me wear like anything on my wrists or necklaces. I always have like earrings on, maybe like one pair of earrings usually. And I don't really wear any other type of jewelry. Number one is because I play piano as well. Well, not right now because I've got super long nails, but I normally play piano, and I don't like things jingling on my wrists. So coming up with a signature look, coming up with something that makes you look good. So I don't wear trousers. I don't wear pants. I do not wear pants. I tell you when I do wear pants is if I have to, when I'm working out the gym, I've got shorts. I've got like some really cute short sets that I like to wear. I don't even lounge around the house in loungewear. I don't, for me personally, this is just me. This is what I do. I don't wear loungewear. Anyone that's ever lived with me, my former housemates are going to come on, but anyone that's ever lived with me knows I'm not really a loungewear person. I will have like what I call a set of house dresses. So they're like super nice, one color, knee length, sleeveless dresses I can wear around the house. And then I have a few different like robes that I wear. I've got satin robes, I've got comfy robes, but they're all very pretty, because I feel like when I elevate myself, that's what I put out in the world. So if you FaceTime me when I'm at home, I'm not in like a random hoodie and things like that. You won't find me in some random basketball t-shirt and basketball shorts. You'll never see me like that, because that's the version that I've chosen to live as, because when I'm her, that's where I see the best results in my life. So hopefully that has answered your question. It's super long answer. You know why? Because it's layered. There's no one way to answer the idea of desirability or the idea of different things that are happening in our own lives. And so that's why even you asking that question today is one of my points, which is being committed to lifelong learning, especially around personal growth and, of course, your finances. Knowing that you're not a know-it-all is really going to be one of the key things to being successful, especially in putting yourself on that pedestal. When you are willing to learn, and thank you so much for the question, And for those that have been typing questions in the chat, in my question box, and I've been able to answer, those things are important. When you are someone who is a know-it-all, nobody wants to be around someone who thinks they know everything. One thing about me, even if I'm in a random room where, I might be, what they're talking about, I already know about it, I'm not going to let on. You got to learn how to read the room. You got to learn how to be quiet. You got to learn how to just take in what's happening, and you don't have to make everybody know that you're there. That makes sense? Your energy alone, when you put yourself on a pedestal, your energy alone will allow you to show up in that space in your authenticity. So networking is another great tool by leveraging quality relationships and connections that resonate with who you are, and then embracing your failures, embracing your detours. I like to call them detours. I have taken many detours in my life, and I do not call them failures. They are just detours on the journey to becoming the best version of Rachel. And that's the way you need to look at things as well, is that even though it might look like a failure to someone else, I am looking at it as a detour on the journey to becoming the best version of myself. And while you're there, learn how to redirect. This is actually what true repentance looks like as well, is changing direction and becoming a new person. Changing direction and becoming a new person. So when you change direction and you say goodbye to your old life, which is what we're talking about today, putting yourself on a pedestal, becoming the most divine, elevated version of yourself, then you will begin to see your results will start to change. And finally, having divine guidance. I'm always going to bring you back to prayer, because prayer has been the number one tool in my own life and in the lives of many of the women that I've been able to communicate with over the years. That when you look at the story of Queen Esther, she moved from being an orphan to a queen, and she embodied divine positioning and grace, which is the name of our program that I am talking about. And I am inviting you all to join us in the Grace program, which is a 3-month program where we're talking about money, love, and freedom, and how to create a life that you desire by elevating yourself as the queen of your life. Does that sound powerful? And if you want to join us, it's only $111, and it's for 3 months. So it's a very, very quality program. We are having our first call tomorrow. And if you'd like the link, then you can send me a message and I will send it to you. Those of you that are on YouTube and Facebook, I will put the link in the comments for you so you can click right on through. But those of you on Instagram, if you're interested or you have more questions about the program, send me a message and I would love to answer your questions today. And so, what is our conclusion today, and how can we move forward in what we've been talking about today? Celebrate your own empowerment and celebrate every part of your journey, and be intentional. Intentional. Be intentional in the pursuit of being a better version of yourself. So it's not going to happen by accident. You're not going to wake up one day and suddenly have your dream life. I know some people like to say that, but I do not see a biblical precedent for that. I see people that position themselves. I see women that put themselves in the way of the man they like to marry. I see people making strategies and having ideas and doing things. That's what I see. And I see God honoring those things. And it's all about making sure that you're always in touch with who you are. What is the divine version of me? And what does she look like? What does he look like? And the last thing I want to do again is to finally invite you all to join me for Grace, because it's our 3-month program. And this is the thing that I've realized in Jeremiah 29:11. It says, the Lord says that I know the plans I have towards you. So when you decide that you are ready for a life that you actually design, a life that you feel good every day. And here's the thing. I've learned this about feelings. So people say, what does it say in I think in The Secret or something, it says something about feeling is the secret. And oftentimes we can rely on our feelings too much to run the show. But what I like to do is we get to change our feelings. So even though your feelings will tell you what's going on, we don't run our life by our feelings. But then by the spiritual work that we do, by the embodiment practices that we do, by the things that we talked about even today, you will start to see your feelings will shift. Because did you know there are certain foods you can eat that can make you feel better? So that's why feelings aren't a good marker for things, but your intentions, your goals, your decisions are what you measure your life with. And so I really hope that today has been helpful in some way to any of you that have been watching. So I'm going to keep the replay up here on Instagram. And of course, it is alive on YouTube and Facebook. So if you want to go ahead and watch on any of those platforms, you'll be able to watch this back again, where I have been talking today about how to put yourself on a pedestal. So my name is Rachel-Yvonne, and I've been so excited to be able to join with you all today. And I hope to see you all soon. And if you have any questions about joining the Grace program, send me a message. It is only 111. You have nothing to lose. It is 3 months program. We have 6 calls and you get a private call included. Listen, it is such great value, and I want to invite you to join us for it. Hope to see you in there soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.